Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to regrease the focus on this lens. So we're going to disassemble it, we're going to clean all the parts that need cleaning, we're going to put new grease, and then we're going to reassemble it. The lens is the Nikkor 50mm 1.2, and then we are talking about the AI version, which has a longer focus throw than the AS version. So if you're planning to do this repair on the AS version, try looking at the video before to see where are the differences, and then if the difference is actually too big, do not proceed. I will try to make a video on that whenever I have a AS version coming in need of this repair, which might be tomorrow or 1 year. This I cannot tell you. Okay, anyway, this lens, you might recognize it, is the lens I removed fungus in this video here. It was in totally nasty condition. The optics is already clean. This we have already done. The focusing, I think the lens was badly stored, and then the focusing is a bit hard. Yeah, it's making this noise, which is not really nice for the use of the lens. So what we're going to do right now is to disassemble the lens. I think I already said that before. To do so, first thing, I go to the minimum focusing distance here. Then I give a few turns to this set screw that you see here. I'm not removing it, and then with that I will be able to unscrew the front here. Then I can take all the optical block. This we won't be needing today. If you need more information on how to work on this part, take a look at this video here. You get the link in the corner. Today we're going to work on the body of the lens. Okay, so how we proceed? We are going to remove the bayonet to gain some access on the back. Now we can remove the bayonet, then we can pull the aperture ring. I will show you how to reassemble all this, obviously, and then that's it. Now what we're going to do, and then you might notice that there's some tape here, and then the deal is I already made some marks on the lens, so just to know what to mark, and then I will use this as help during the assemble. And then you can see here more tape. These are the marks, well, they're actually behind, but then I added some tape just to avoid erasing them afterwards. And then obviously I don't like making like permanent scratches when I'm marking a lens. Okay, so we are here. I did a mark where this point goes. Then we are going to remove the silver ring here. Okay, and then with the screws gone, we can take this part, and then you can see here there's like this little shoulder, and then this is what is doing this stop for this ring here. So now I can actually go a bit beyond infinity, as you can see, and then obviously I can go lower than the minimum focusing distance, and then this is going also to work. Okay, so and then this is due to this ring here. Okay, so far so good. Now you find here 3 little set screws. We are going to get them loose. Don't unscrew them unnecessarily, because you don't need actually to remove them. With that, you have this ring with the distance indications that can be removed. And then we find ourselves with this. Mark this position here, which is actually the infinity. But then if you don't get it, you just go to where it blocks here, and then you can mark also that point, which is also somehow relevant because you will be able to control the position at the end if you have mounted the helicoid correctly. Okay, obviously this position I marked just now might be slightly different on your lens, or on any lens for that instance, because this is a bit configuration given and then given for the optics of the lens, so there may be slight differences. Okay, so we have marked this, we have marked the position where it blocks. Then I'm going to unscrew this guy here, and then when I was preparing the video, this guy really gave me a hard time to unscrew. So what I just did like that looks extremely simple, but it took me like 45 minutes fighting with it. So what I did to get it loose is, you see there is a small rim here. I just came with isopropyl alcohol, I put it on the rim. I did that a few times, I let it sit, I put some isopropyl alcohol on the edge here as well, let it sit, and then I actually had to use a big amount of force. To do so, I took this tool, that is something to open jars and that kind of stuff. So I put it around here, and then what I did is I push the body of the lens against the ground, and then behind I put a piece of rubber. By putting a lot of force, I was able to rotate. Once it is loose, I just can simply unscrew it, and then here you go. Now I'm going to repeat so what I said before. So here I am at the end, I come to the reference and do 3/4 of a turn, about that. It becomes loose. What I'm going to do now is just to rotate this guy here, and then and go really slowly, because and then I already made a mark here just behind the tape, so it doesn't erase, but then I will mark it again, and then be extremely careful. You pull, at some point the helicoid is going to separate, then you have to mark that position, and then I made this U shape because I'm aligning to the U shape on the helicoid. So this is it to removing this part, so don't forget to mark it. What I'm going to do now is, I was about 3/4 of a turn, so I go back to the initial position, note the number of pre-turns you have to do. So I told you 3/4 just to get this guy loose, then rotate it until I mark this position here. Then I just came back to the initial position, and then I'm going to do 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, and then about here it separates, so 4 turns. Careful with that, count the number of turns you are making when disassemble this. I have 4 turns, in your case it might be 3 turns and a half or 4.5, I don't know, but then count it and then write it on a piece of paper. So you see I have 3/4 of a turn for removing this guy, well, to reaching the position where I can rotate it freely, and then 3.95 turns or 4 turns to separate these two guys. So write that somewhere, and then yeah, that's it. So, and then this is how you disassemble the helicoid of a Nikon AI 50mm 1.2. So what I'm going to do now is to go and get my cleaning stuff so we can remove the oil grease out of this guy. Now we have the parts that we want to clean, namely the helicoids. So what we're going to do now is to get the cleaning stuff. So I have the tool. So this is an old toothbrush, an old cotton swab, lighter fluid, a few sheets of toilet paper, and then something to lay the lens over. So I'm using this paper dishes that have been used for a really long time. With that I'm going to put my elements of the lens. So, and I want just to concentrate on cleaning the helicoids. I will try to be as organized as possible, not to put that everywhere. So what you do is you put the lighter fluid, and barbecue gasoline also work. Gasoline works as well. And then what you do is you put, namely, the solvent on the helicoid, and then with the toothbrush you come and do the cleaning. As you can see, it is extremely trivial to do afterwards. So we have removed already the oil grease, and then just with the toilet paper come, and then you see a lot of the oil grease is already gone. It's not perfect, but then I'm going to finish that off the camera. But then, as you can see, it is extremely simple. Then you repeat that for all the parts you have to clean. Okay, now that we have waited a few minutes for the solvent to have evaporated of the parts, we can proceed to put in the grease. And then this is the grease I am going to use. The reference is SKF LG LT2. So this is a grease that has low friction. It is resistant to cold. So this will be very nice to use in the lenses, for example, in winter. So you don't get the focusing getting really hard when the temperature is rather low. So this is the grease I use. So, and then the greasing, it is also very simple. we're just going to put each time on the male part or female, I don't know really the reference, and then here this is what we do. We just apply little drops a bit everywhere, so trying to avoid putting on your table. Here you go. Then I will use something like this just to spread it into the slots. Okay, so this is it. Nothing really fancy actually. And then here we put things together. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I move about 3/4 of a turn. Then I get my to use in position here. This guy should engage and about here, so and then here you go. Here, as you see, we get to the mark we made originally for the end stop, and then this is what we want. So it wasn't easy, but then as you can see, we have managed to get the helicoid regrease. Now it goes super smooth. Now what we have to do is to reassemble the lens. So I'm just going to stop the video for a few seconds, clean a bit all these traces of grease that I made with my fingers, and then we meet again for reassembling the lens. Okay, so here's the block. I have cleaned it, so it is not greasy anymore. So we have this, which is moving quite nicely, and then the grease is going to spread better as we use the lens. But then we have done the job. Now we have to reassemble the lens, so I'm going to restart by putting this element here on the top, which is the one that is going to block this sliding element, which is carrying the optical block to do the focusing. So we have this guy, and then he's going to block. I am not going all the way because it's going to get loose, maybe. And then here you go. New grease is going to get better as we use it. Then I put this guy with the indications for the distance. I'm not going to fix it right now because I think we can already remove. I will remove it last, just in case I have to come back. I hope not, but one never know. Then we come here. This is the element we had for the dot, and then the focusing. Then this guy enters a bit tight, so try to put it as straight as possible. is not happy with this. Okay, not happy with this, and then maybe. Okay, yeah. Remember that there's this bump here. This is what was blocking also. Okay, so now I'm not able to remove it. So you have this little elbow here, and then they were overlapping, and then they're actually to match. And then this was what was blocking, and then we are not seeing it because of this guy. So and then this guy is rather easy to align because there's only 3 holes to hold it. So as long as you are aligned with the 3 holes, you are in the right position. And then now we can do a lot of motions just to get the grease to spread a bit everywhere. Now we are going to put the aperture ring, and then you may wonder where are the elements for the aperture ring, and then here, if you pay attention, you have the element that when I move is going to move the fork just behind. So, and then here there is one little slot, and then you have this part with gaps that is going to do the clicking sound. So my cue to put these guys is to look for this thing which is going to produce the clicking noise, and then get somehow aligned with this little slot. So this is it, and then you check that it's okay, that when you rotate you have both the clicking sound and then this guy moving. Okay, so that's for that. Then we need to put the bayonet, same thing as well. The cue is to check where the opening goes. So here you have the opening on the bayonet, and then that's my cue to get aligned with this little lever here. And then now I just look. Yeah, this should be the right hole. And so I get the lever here slightly pre-charged. Okay, so far so good. Wow, it's very smooth. As you might notice, I haven't fixed this guy yet. I have a very good reason for that. Just wait till the end. Now we are going to put the optical block to finish the assembly, and then what we need to do here is to get, so I get this position here, so the middle of the fork. I will mark it, that, then I have this little lever here, I mark it as well. So, and then I explain what it does. So here you have, in the optical block, you have a little fork that I'm moving here, and then a small lever, and then these guys are actually working the diaphragm. Okay, this ring which you have to keep in position. So you see, and then what I just did here on the body, I just put it the aperture on 16, so that means I will get really close here, and then what I need to do is just to come, then to get a line like this, and then the little lever. The next thing I need to do is just to rotate the body a bit, and then if everything is okay, this is what should happen. So I am able to operate the diaphragm, and then if I move here, and that means that the little lever got into the fork, and then the fork on the optical block came over the lever on the body. To finish, I will look for a little screw here. No, it's rather a hole than you have here. And what I'm going to do is just to get the set screw at exactly the same position, because this is the pre-drilled hole. So the set screw gets lodged in, and if I am in the right position, I should be able to screw this guy without any difficulties, and then it's not going to protrude out of the body, so I'm not going to get in conflict with the ring which is moving here. Okay, so last thing I have to do is I will set my lens to the infinity. I will go to window to take the image of something far away, and then I'm just going to say that element is infinite. I'm going to fix that, and then with that the repair of this lens is done. Let's just put the little rubber here together. And this is all I want to show today. And as you can see, we pass from this ugly lens to this in 2 videos. This is all I wanted to show today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time, man.